last week. It was out of my control. I had the number wasn't working. The dialing number wasn't working. So I was trying it. A couple of different people were calling me trying to get in, and we just weren't able to do the call. But I still had the same notes. I'm gonna cover most of that stuff from last week, and then I added some new stuff, some stuff I just thought about, and wanted to kind of communicate to you guys this week as well. So, just kind of starting off real quick. There's not. I really don't feel like there's a real understanding of what it takes for a new business to get started, to get up and running, and to ultimately be successful. I feel like a lot of people think that it's a passive hobby type project that you can implement or start and see some results, and that's just not the case. People are kind of like, I've seen them, they're like tiptoeing into it, doing it in their spare time, kind of just playing around with it, doing it when they feel like it, getting the LLC, and then a month later, then they might work on this, or then a month or two later, they might work on that. And then at the same time, they're expecting results. People are expecting results based on these, these lackluster efforts. So I just wanted to make this clear really early on that, starting a business, any business, home care, any kind of business you can think of, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time to see results. It takes a lot of, it's going to take a lot out of you. You're going to have to really commit. You're going to have to be committed daily to doing something on your business, whether that's, in your business, on your business, or personal development wise, learning, becoming a better entrepreneur, a better business owner, a better leader, a better marketer, a better salesperson. So things of that nature. One book that I talk about a lot, early on in my training is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, and it's a real basic book, but his concepts are very, the concept of 10X and everything you're doing is very true. So I just really want everyone to, no matter what they're doing now, this week or this weekend, download the book, audible.com, go to Barnes & Nobles, go pick it up if you're a reader. I listen to all my books via audio. So what I really want you guys to do is go get the book, 10X. It's called the 10X Rule. Listen to it. Again, it's a real simple book, easy read. It reads real easy. But he explains that it's going to, for you to get the actual results that you want, you're going to have to put in 10 times the effort than what you think you're going to have to put in to get the results that you want. So if you want to make $100,000 a year, you're going to have to operate like you're trying to make $1 million a year, and that's the kind of program and setup that you're going to have to create for yourself and for your business moving forward to really see any kind of results. And not only the efforts, you have to create goals a lot larger than what you already, that I feel like most people are creating for themselves. Expectations have to be bigger so you can have, more energy going in towards it. So if I say if I want to make, or if I want to get 5 clients in the next 6 months, I don't have to. I can operate at a pace that's not so aggressive. But if I say I want to get 50 clients in the next 3 months, that's a whole nother level of aggression. That's a whole lot more activity that must be done. So you have to, first plan, create big, grand goals, but not just to be writing stuff down and to be, saying it, but actually doing, putting it on the board, but then functioning at a level that can create those results. And a lot of times you say, well, I don't have the money to do this and that. And that's going to take me to my next, my second point is that it doesn't really take as much money as people think to get started in this business or in any other business. What we've been developing is a strategy, just for the home care industry, is what we call meaningful relationship development, and that's the MRD, and it's just a certain strategy that we've been implementing and seeing great results with our own company and the companies that we're working with and our coaching clients. And it's just, calls, emails, letters, social media, visits, things like this that that are created on a day-to-day basis that really develop meaningful relationships in your marketplace, in the senior community, in your marketplace. And it really takes a certain level of consistency and a level of what they call grit to keep this thing going on and on and on every week, every day, every month, every year. To really see some results, you're going to have to put these hours in every day. One second. Yeah, excuse me for that. I got a child emergency going on in the back room. So when it comes to what we call meaningful relationship development, we're looking at calls, emails, letters, social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, and reaching out to specific companies, people, organizations, agencies in your marketplace. And I cover this all the time. It's a hospital, discharge planners, home health agencies, hospices, skilled nursing facilities, assisted livings, case managers, rehabilitation facilities, places like these. These are the places where you need to be making 20 to 40 calls every day on a minimum to really start, making your company known in these environments, in your particular marketplace. Emails, same thing. Sometimes you can't get on the phone with everybody, so you want to try to get out 30, 40, 50 emails a day. Letters, addresses, and trying to figure out the exact person to send it to. Sometimes people say, well, you can't visit. We don't really take people's literature, business stuff. We don't have it in the office. So what you could do is mail it to them. Just send it to them so they can know who you are. LinkedIn is another great place to develop, strong relationships. Most of these companies, the bigger agencies and stuff like that, hospitals and all that, the Department of Aging, rehab facilities, the assisted livings, they have LinkedIn profiles. LinkedIn is where you put, most of the employees say where they work at. So, for instance, if you put discharge planners in your specific city on LinkedIn, you'll see all the hospital discharge planners who have that as their career type in LinkedIn. And you could just start what they call it in mails. You can send in mails. So we try to do, we recommend doing 50 of those a day, as many as you can. But basically what I'm trying to say is that you have to really scale up the amount of output and activity that's going on in your business and what you're doing to get some real results. People just aren't doing enough. You're just not doing enough to get the results. And I just feel like I haven't made that clear as often as I should publicly. I do what I can with my coaching clients, but I just don't feel like publicly I'm not making it clear to say, hey, look, you really, really, really have to turn up the level of output that you're putting into this thing. It's a book called Grit, and I think I was going to speak about it a second ago. Angela Duckworth. Another important book I feel like everyone should read at some point. It's just called Grit, and you want to read it. And what she talks about is how grit supersedes talent, how it supersedes wealth, or your social standing, like how your grit, the persistence, the hard work, the dedication, the commitment over a period of time supersedes what they call the seemingly advantages that certain people may have. You can basically at the end of the day, you can outwork anybody. You can't outspend them. You can't learn them or have a better education, but you can outwork them. And through grit, staying consistent, building meaningful relationships in your marketplace, you could definitely start to see some results. So that's just one thing I wanted to make sure we covered real quick, the importance of that. And I wanted to get into these other strategies that people have, I think, been overlooking or not really thinking about, that they can do in their actual community to just stand out, be different, and again, position yourself as an expert, and bring in some, bring some attention to your business and your community. So what we're thinking of is like events. People, why aren't we hearing about more events? People doing like, an event where you have specific experts come in. You might could have, so an event you can host it at your place or rent somewhere, or usually what I would suggest doing is finding like nursing homes, larger assisted living facilities, and just set up like times where you could do like workshops and events for free to them, obviously, and you're coming in with your expert. You might have like an estate planner, a therapist, somebody who's an expert in dementia, or Alzheimer's, a doctors, diabetic, specialists, dietitians, and you create these events in different locations in your community. Again, like the rehab facilities, people aren't there for so long, but you can still use these facilities. I mean, if you come in there to give free information, do workshops, the people are going to be excited about that. They very seldom get different things going on. And I mean, estate planning, physical therapy, that kind of medical stuff isn't all that exciting. But if you look at like different workshops where you may teach, so what we're seeing up in New York in the actual city is adult daycare centers are teaching seniors how to use technology, social media, Skype, things like that, so they can communicate better with their family. They're getting them on the internet. You're getting them on these different apps. So now that now that they're older, but they can still, stay connected with their family members. And I mean, I see that this is a great opportunity for, different people in different areas to use this same strategy to implement, in your marketplace. You set up a workshop. You can set up a workshop in your local adult daycare center or nursing home or, wherever, and just invite seniors, or go to where seniors are or the seniors' loved ones, and, introduce this information to them, directed toward them, and help them, access these different tools that's becoming available. Because I feel like a lot of times, once you get to a certain age, it seems like, society is forgetting about the seniors. They're just kind of like not bringing them along. We're not, okay, mom's old, she can't do much for herself. Let's put a caregiver in there, or let's put her in a home, and then we're kind of forgetting about them and going about our way. But I mean, a lot of times these seniors are still, they still have great minds. They may can't move as fast, but they still have great minds. They can still communicate. They can still learn. And the best way to stay, to stay alive is to keep learning and to stay active and do things that are stimulating. So technology workshops, teaching stuff like that, hosting bingo, knitting, you could create like little knitting workshops where they knit, sales, bake sales. A local company that I consult for does day spas where they do the hair, nails, and massages for the seniors at no charge. They just go into different facilities. A home care agency goes into say like a nursing home and has a day spa set up where they the ladies can come in there and get their nails done, the men can get the massages and the hair and stuff like that. And again, this is another way for them to position themselves in the market and leave a memorable, create a memorable effect on the, actual people who they interact with. Picnics, obviously it's been, in this area, it's been ridiculously hot. So you can't just do this anytime, but picnics, senior networking events, just like we go to different networking events to meet, like-minded people, creating events for seniors. A real cute thing that we saw the other, I was reading about a month ago was the senior prom. Like, how they got the senior proms for the adults. I mean, for the high school, this company was doing senior proms for the actual seniors where they were creating a dance, bringing back the old music, having serving food and wine and letting them network and just, giving them that same atmosphere that they've been missing or they didn't have access to or nobody thought to provide for them because of their age. So I'm just kind of running off some of the ideas that we've been thinking about and looking at. Pet therapy is another one. Being able to, take a few pets, the pets that are actually trained to do it, dogs usually, and taking them to these different senior facilities, scheduling times where they can actually do time, spend time with the pets. Same thing with the children. You come in there with the different children, you get some volunteers and do workshops and do like crafts and arts and stuff like that. It's just, I'm just giving you guys some examples to get your juices flowing. But comedy shows, farmers market, casino night, family caregivers. So no, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna go just right past that one. But comedy shows, family, farmers market. That's a good one, and casino night is another good one. But when you talk about family caregiver support groups, this is something that I feel is very important that every agency should have in their marketplace. The smart ones is you create a support group for family caregivers. I'm not talking about people who work as caregivers. I'm talking about the actual family caregivers, the people who take care of their family members, their actual family members. Creating a support group for them using the app meetup.com or the website meetup.com. Do this, and you become you create it, so you own the group, so you facilitate it, but then you sponsor it, so you're the sponsor. But you don't use it to market to people. You don't get all these family caregivers in there and then be like, hey, yeah, I know you're tired of dealing with your family. We can come in there and service them. No, it's not that type of situation. You're actually providing great, information for them so they can become better caregivers for their for their loved ones. But in turn, obviously, they're going to look to the person who they trust the most, who you have become in their market, for help when they need it. And obviously, you're ready to, hey, look, if you like what I gave you for free, you really love what we can do for you as a service. So these are definitely just some of the things I want you guys to, take note of, think about, but and not be limited to. I just really want to use these ideas and these thoughts to get your juices flowing, because it's like everybody is doing the same thing, even in the entire marketplace. It's not just, us, the Allen Chaney Home Care Business Coaching, group and the clients and stuff like that, but the whole industry in general, I just see, when I look over, everybody's doing the same thing. Oh, everybody's ad looks the same. Everybody's logo is pretty much the same. Even from the bigger franchises, they're all doing the same thing. They're all talking about the same stuff. And I don't really see anybody taking any chances outside of the box. So these are some of the things that you can do. And most of these things, almost all of these things that I've suggested, don't cost a whole bunch of money or money at all to put together a workshop or, an event, or a presentation to take to, different facilities and locations in your marketplace. It just doesn't take all of that. It doesn't take a lot of money. It takes effort, time, networking, and, getting it done, but it doesn't, it's not impossible. And if it, even if it was a little tough, it's still worth it, because at the end of the day, you want to, add value, look to add value in the community. You always want to say, okay, how can my company add value? How can my company how can we position ourselves as an expert? How can we make people trust and believe that we know what we're talking about? And we have a good, we have a lot to offer as an agency. And it seems like it's a lot it takes a whole lot to get it going, but it's just like, you do one day spa, you might get a client or two, and that could change everything. And I want you guys to remember, it doesn't take, 20, 30 clients to really have a successful home care service, especially if you're a small company and you don't have like 10 partners, or 3 or 4 investors who are all looking to get money back. If you're a small startup and it's just you, or you and your, your loved one, or you and your husband, or you and your partner, one partner or two, that 5 or 6 clients, you get to 5 clients. If you average, you should be profiting. I feel like small company, very low overhead, you should be profiting between $900 to $1,200 a month off a full-time client, and half that for a part-time client. And so basically 4 to 5 clients, you should be close to $50,000 a year in profit. And I don't see why that's a unrealistic goal, or I don't see why that's so. I don't see that being unrealistic in this current climate in the marketplace, where there's so many seniors who need care, where so many families who are struggling to take care of their family members, their senior family members. And you see it in your own selves. A majority of you who are on this call and who follow me work in the industry, so you see the need is there. So it's like, if your company that you work for has 50 clients, why can't you branch off, figure it out, and get 5 clients and be making $60K a year profit? And you just running the business. You're not working not one shift. You're just running the business, doing what you love, and taking care of the people who are actually doing it, and manage it and making sure they're doing it to your standard. You could work on the things like the events. You could work on getting out into the market, making the company known, but you don't have to actually do the work. You can make a bigger impact by, implementing these different strategies, and then holding your caregivers to a higher standard, and making sure, the seniors are actually getting the highest quality of care at the most affordable rates. Because at the end of the day, small companies have better flexibility. We are more flexible than, and when you start small versus you look at all these franchises, they feel like they have some advantage, but they have no flexibility. They can't adjust. So they might get 10 calls, and 2, 3 of the clients, or 4 or 5 of the clients, just even more, 6, 7 of them, they're just priced too far. The prices are just too. They just won't work, and they can't take them because they have so much overhead as a franchise that in the beginning initially they had to pay for the franchise itself, so they need to start recouping that money back as soon as possible, because the chances are 9 times 10 is a loan. And they got overhead. They have all these different staff members, and this is even before they get one client. They have all this stuff going on. Us, on the other hand, we don't have to scale up. We can scale up as we get clients. So it's an advantage in being small, limber, and flexible in the beginning, because you can actually take a client. They can't afford $20 an hour, and that's the going rate in your marketplace, but they can afford 17, you can still get them, and you can still make a nice profit on that. You can still, where the big company, they can't do nothing with that. So we gotta, take advantage of the opportunity while it's here. And guess what? It's not always going to be here. This opportunity is right now that exists in the home care market, where it's countless seniors out here with, it's just not enough people to take care of them. It's not enough, agencies out here to really service the marketplace. All these caregivers are overworked and underpaid. And that's another opportunity we could do. We could pay our caregivers more because we make more money and we have less overhead. We just take in less profit. Whereas though you may be making $50,000 off a year, off 5 clients, or five, 6 clients, 4 or 5, 6 clients. You could take 45 and get the other 5 to your caregivers and pay your caregivers a little more and only bring home $45,000 that year. But it's not like you're limited to 4 clients. I'm just saying, based on that actual number, you can, just with 4 clients, you're able to pay your caregivers more, and they can also benefit, and they can also, make more money, and everybody's benefiting, because you're small and you could be more flexible. And again, it's just, I just really want people to understand that you have to get aggressive. You have to get out here in this market, in your community. You have to get in your market and develop some relationships. Like I was saying in the beginning, meaningful relationship development is the most important thing. 20 calls a day, 40 calls a day, minimum 20 calls a day, 50 emails a day, minimum. And it's just like creating a template and just putting somebody's email in there, pushing send, putting somebody else's email, pushing send. And it's, letters the same way. You could, print them all out using mail merge, put all the addresses in there, mail merge, print out 50 letters in 20 minutes, and get them in the envelopes, and you send them out every day. And I mean, the only thing that's costing you is paper and postage. But I mean, if you can't do that, but do something, do 10 a day. If you can't make 20 calls a day, do 20 calls a day, do 5. You can't send out 50 any emails a day, send out 25. If you can't send out 20 letters, send out 10, send out 5. If you can't do 50 emails on LinkedIn, send out 10, send out 20. But you have to do it every day. You have to be consistently engage in your marketplace every day, and you have to be aggressive. It's just like no other way of getting around it. I don't know how else to put it. There's countless marketing strategies that we could talk about. From optimizing your website, from Facebook ads to direct mail, the signs that we always like to talk about, news, not newspaper, but like Craigslist. There's all kind of stuff that you could do to try to drum up sales, but there's nothing better than developing a relationship with someone and being consistently following up with it. So let me kind of dig a little deeper into what we talk about, the meaningful relationship development. So you do make these 20 calls and you get responses where people say, okay, this is how we operate. This is how you can work with us as an agency. This is how we send referrals. This is the protocol that you must go through. Obviously, you go through that protocol, or you have to follow up with that person. The minute you get a name or you get any kind of, good feedback, you want to dive all over it. So if they say, you can come in, you damn sure better make sure you're there. And, you got a good, presentation. You got all your documentation about your company, your brochures, your services, your prices, a sample contract, your insurance, everything that makes that you need to prove to them that you're legitimate, and they're also a great story. You tell them who you are, why you entered this market, and why you're, your belief system and what you really want to do. To change and make a difference in the industry locally, or in your marketplace, and whatever that looks like, whatever the market looks like. So that's very important. when you send out, so if you do send out 50 emails a day, you might get 3-4 back, people who really are interested in working with your agency, sending you referrals. And again, these relationships through these places, like I said, the hospital discharge planners, the home health agencies, the hospices, the skilled nursing facilities, the assisted living facilities. What you're trying to do is develop relationships with the people who obviously can send you referrals. And again, when they give you any kind of feedback, you just want to make sure you're very diligent on following up with them and doing whatever they're asking you to do, providing them whatever information they want. And when they do actually send you a referral, you show them that you really appreciate it. Like some places they can't take money, like doctor's offices, stuff like that. Nurse hospitals, you can't give the person money, but you could definitely give somebody stuff, give somebody things, small gestures of appreciation through, just being creative. And that's what you have to do to make sure you really, provide, that you really, appreciate what they've done to you, done for you as far as that referral. And, you just constantly keep this program going, constantly, every day, following up, reaching out to new people and building a relationship. So that was pretty much all I wanted to touch on. I know I'm kind of moving kind of quick because I know it's only an hour-long call, and I'm trying to get all this stuff in because I did miss last week. And it was some because we do talk a lot about, and I do push like aggression, 10X, and call, work, put in all the time. There's a flip side to that. And I'm not always turned up like that. Because if no one can stay in that mode, and if you do, you'll burn out, and you do need what they call recovery time. It's just as important as it is for you to make those 20, 30, 40 calls a day, 50, 20, 30, 40, 50 emails a day, letters, inboxes, stuff like that, to get to know these people in these different, agencies and organizations in your market. You need to, allot time for yourself to recover. Now, if you're not doing nothing, you have nothing to recover from. But if you dedicating 4 to 6 hours a day, every day, to your business, 10, 15 days straight, 20 days straight, and you really, and you're going to see results. But, just because you're seeing results doesn't mean you don't need to relax and recover. It's very important to, unplug, get outside, stay in bed, log off, disconnect from the email, binge watch TV. Like, them things are important. You need to do those things, but, obviously you got to do them in moderation, and you got to earn it. I feel like you got to earn it. But I definitely want to make sure that you understand that there has to be a level of balance. Meditation is very important. Meditation, I feel like the most important things you should do in your morning is pray, meditate, and exercise. As soon as you wake up, pray, meditate, and exercise. Like, as soon as you wake up, even if that's like a 5-10 minute exercise, however long you pray, 7 to 10 minute meditation, just, trying to quiet the mind. There's all kind of stuff on the internet to, teach you how to meditate if you don't know how. But, I really, just want to make sure I keep this call kind of balanced. I don't want to say, make all these calls, do all this stuff in the community, and not say that there's also to maintain that grit, that grind, that focus, and that, that consistency, because it takes consistency, not just doing it one day, but I'm talking about doing this stuff every day, or at least 5 days a week, and then really recovering so you can not only get back to it the next week, but also you could kind of process everything that happened. You can start to see and think, and, what they call mastery when it comes to, like, when you constantly doing something over and over and over again, you develop, you start going into the, mastery, where you start seeing it from different angles, and you become better and better. The more you do it, the more calls you make, you'll learn, better words to say and better things to say, how to get different reactions, and you'll start to see things working better the more you do them. But you have to pull back, unplug and recover and think and take notes and kind of process the whole thing before you can actually see it. And I'm saying a lot tonight, but this is it's very important that people understand that you have to try to fit all this stuff in, especially if you already have a full-time job, you already have a family and children that depend on you, who pulling on you. You still have to figure out how to get this stuff done, how to outsource and delegate. We talked about Pat Live, an answering service for people who can't take calls during the day. You could use a service called Pat Live to answer your calls 24 hours. You give them the script. We already gave you the script if you got any of our products, and you just give them the script. They write, and then the lady actually, the service actually says your company name when they call in. You just give them the number, or you put it on all your marketing and stuff like that. So when they call in, it sounds like you're available at all times. You don't have to worry about, is my calls being answered? I did all this marketing. I made all these calls going out, all these outgoing calls. When people come back and I'm not available, what's going to happen? No, we got a solution for that. An answering service, and it's very affordable. Outgoing calls. You can hire somebody locally to do your outgoing calls. You can hire virtual assistants from India who are smarter than most people, to answer your emails and to, do things like this, to go on LinkedIn and do these emails for you. You can outsource a lot of these different tasks at a very affordable rate early in the beginning, especially if you're by yourself. If you're a solo entrepreneur who's trying to get this stuff done, there are ways to get a lot of this stuff done and still maintain some kind of life, outside of it. And it can take a lot of your time, but if you're smart and you're strategic and you plan and you put proper tools in place, like, virtual assistants, answering services, local, hire somebody local part-time to do different tasks, you'll really be surprised how much 10x effort you can put out into the community just by planning right, putting some systems in place, being organized, and really taking it to the market. The book that I was, the most important book when it comes to this stuff is called The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and he also has the biggest blog on it, and the biggest, most popular business blog on iTunes is Tim Ferriss's blog. No, not his blog. I'm sorry, podcast. His podcast. He has the most popular podcast in the industry, in the business world, bar none. So those are just some of the things that you can think about as well when it comes to developing, your systems and getting this stuff done. And when I talk about, really, putting all this stuff on autopilot and systems and getting it out there every day to these different people in your market. I said a lot. We're at 7:46. I'm gonna open it up for Q&A, and then we're gonna jump off and let everybody get into their weekend. So if you have a question, you can go ahead.
Hey, I have a question. How you doing?
How you doing?
Oh, great. So starting out, when you're first starting out, and say like if you want to service private pay clients, do you need a nurse to go out and do your assessments or a physician's order for private pay clients?
That depends on what state you're in and what's the actual, the state requirements for operating a home care service.
Okay.
So, yeah. But personally, we use a nurse for all our consultations. So a nurse goes out, does the consultation.
Wow.
Does the client profile.
Leaving this world.
Yeah, it does all that. Gets the client. Checks the client, see everything that they need. All their services and all that stuff.
I can't hear you because somebody else talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think if you're not asking the question, please mute your phone. If you're not answering the question, just mute your phone, please. But yeah, we send a nurse out to do the initial assessment, and then from there, we decide, what the client needs. But you definitely, I feel like you should have a nurse on staff, at least, PRN to go, make sure you kind of overseeing everything at a certain level. But then again, there's requirements in specific states that you have to have it. And in some states, you don't, there's no requirements at all. So there's no laws or regulations at all for the home care aspect, But even the home health too. So like Ohio, they don't have any regulations. So unless you're trying to get like Medicaid and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm in the state of Georgia. I am a nurse. I know we have to have a LPN for your home care agency. A RN is not required. But my question is, I see you guys offer to do the policy and manual for us.
Yeah.
How do that work on your end?
Oh, so basically we just, based on your state's requirement, we put it together and send it to you. We customize it for your state's requirement with your company's information, and we send it to you. You submit it with your application, and if it gets, if they get any rejections or any, things that need to be fixed, we fix it. But most states at this point we're good with. So like Atlanta, that we were having a hard time. We got them squared away. Philly, Pennsylvania's real easy. I meant to say Georgia, not Atlanta. So Georgia, Pennsylvania, like every state now, we're able to just kind of shoot them the first time and get no rejections.
Okay. And how long do it take you to do that process?
Depending on which state, different states, it takes us a little, different time frame. So Atlanta, we could probably, Georgia, it shouldn't take no longer than 30 days.
Okay. I am in the state of Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it. And all the rest of the details is on the website.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Are there any more questions? Yeah, go ahead.
So the first book that you had mentioned, I did not get the author or the title. I think you said Connect something.
I said 10X. 10, the number 10.
Okay.
X. Yeah.
X. Okay.
By Grant Cardone.
Right.
His name is Grant Cardone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
And then the other book was, okay, go ahead.
And the next question is, with the Bandit Signs, whenever you put your signs out, did you have a particular area that you kind of studied and put them in, or you just put them out sporadically in different areas?
We operate in 5 different counties, and we just picked the most high traffic areas, the main arteries. So like, the main streets that go through all the counties or the cities, we put them in those areas where there's stop signs and obviously grass on the side because you can't put them in concrete. So, we just try to find the most highly traffic areas, the most highest traffic areas in our communities, in our counties, and place them there, and kind of spread them out. You don't want to put too many signs in one area. So like, if you're covering a county and you're putting out, say, like 200 or 100, you don't want to have them all in like one city. You want to kind of like spread them out a little bit, say like in 2 or 3 different towns. It all depends on your area, but you don't want to have them too concentrated in one particular geographical location. You want to kind of make them spread out, but you definitely want to have them on the most high traffic areas, not residential areas. So like, I've seen some people trying to put them in like residential. Like, it's just a waste of time to put them in the residential. For one, there's not going to be that much traffic because only people living there most of the time is coming in and out of there. Okay. And then 2, they're going to complain. But when you get them on like the high traffic areas, you got millions of eyeballs that's going to see those signs. And that's the advantage of those signs. It's just like, you put one sign in the right area, you can get, thousands of people to see it every day, and I mean hundreds
Right.
of thousands of people.
Right. Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But then there's another aspect I want to make sure it's clear that you got to definitely check with your state laws and stuff like that, and to just make sure you're clear and you're good, you're safe. Put them out on Friday and pick them up on Sunday. Just to, if you really don't know what's going on, or you feel like, a little sketchy about it, just put them out on Fridays, get the weekend rush. Everybody's off, especially, during the summer, depending on where you're at, where the location, what area you live in. A lot of people are out and about in the summertime, and then pick them up on Sunday nights, and then do that every Friday, or have somebody do that every Friday and Sunday, so you can, for one, save on your signs and don't really get in trouble by the state or the city.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
We get a lot of complaints.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have like two questions. The first question is, I think I asked about as far as a virtual office, like when you're starting your business. I've been seeing like these virtual offices when you send out your paperwork, so you can have like a office address versus your house address when you first do your application. What do you think about that? Because I see that some, you read some information and they say, you get a small building, but then you see some people tell you that, oh no, you just use your house address until you get all your stuff together and they're ready to come and survey. Then you go get a building or an office space. What are your thoughts on that?
So again, this goes back to what the state requirements are. That's your guide. That's your the overall decision maker. This is what the state going to allow you to do. But at that point, if it's so like Atlanta, we're talking about Atlanta. What state are you in?
I'm in Virginia.
So Virginia, I don't think you can have a home office. So that's just get that clear off the top. They're not. I don't think. I'm almost certain, because I know we're doing somebody's application down there, and they were thinking about doing a home office. So you have to have a location, an office location. So, yeah, that's that. But I mean, for everybody else, a virtual office, you can use it if the state allows you to have like a home office. I would get a virtual office so I could just use the address for my marketing material. Like, you can have your home office as far as all your business documents, like your filing, your LLC and stuff like that. But when you start putting your business actually in the community, like your marketing material, your brochures, and your website, social media, you don't want to put your home address on that stuff. You want to have a business address, because, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody wants their home address blast all across the internet. So you want to, it's definitely, if you can use a virtual office, that's the reason for using it. But if your state is telling you have to get an actual office, then you're going to definitely have to get an actual office before you file that license. Or when you file that license, they're gonna come survey, and they're expecting to see an actual office space. But I mean, Craigslist, I would go to Craigslist. You can find some very small stuff, some very inexpensive stuff. And just start off small, like a one-person office. As long as the state is cool with it, they just want to see locks. I mean, I don't know about Virginia per se, but I mean, most states, they just want to see the doors locked, the files and stuff are locked, the desks and all that stuff have locks on it. They just want to make sure it's a secure environment for the people's, private medical information, records and stuff like that.
Okay. And then my second question is, I hear the home health care or home health agency. Starting off, what would you advise to start it off? Because sometimes, I'm an RN myself. I'm a registered nurse. So looking at going straight forward to the agency, is that a good idea, or should I just start with the person care, the CNAs and things like that, where the license, I don't have to I guess wait to be, how can I put it, I guess wait for Medicare to clear to go see. So what would you advise with that? Because I heard a lot of people saying that they start off with the medication aid, not the medication aid, but the patient care first, and then they bridge over to trying to go medical side. like skilled nursing?
Yeah, we skilled versus non-skilled. Yeah, so we definitely suggest if, smaller and you just trying to get some private clients and you just want to do the non-skilled care, that's the best way to go. Private duty companion care and private duty non-skilled care is the best way to start. So when you start thinking about Medicaid and all those waivers and programs like that, depending on what your state is paying, sometimes it's not even worth it. I mean, when you get a lot of them, it's worth it, but in the beginning, it's a headache. For one, you're not going to get it as soon as you get started anyway. Most states going to want you to be seasoned. They want you to be in business for at least a year or two, and then you got to have a staff to basically manage those cases. The file of the processing of those cases, because it's a lot of paperwork, it's a lot of requirements that they want to see before they send you that check. Like they're gonna make you prove that so it's a lot of notes that have to be taken at the clients' homes and processed back into the office and then sent over to Medicaid. And they have a lot of strict rules that you're gonna have to follow. We still don't do it. We never done it, and I'm not interested in doing it because, for one, they pay way below our minimum. They pay below our minimum, so it's not even worth it to us. But in different states, it does make sense. But in the beginning, you won't even be able to do it. Most of the time, because the states want you to be. They don't just allow people to start an LLC today and then start taking Medicaid, tomorrow. You have to prove that your company is legit. You got clients and you've been doing it for a while before they even, allow you to even get in their program. So, But you can always, based on the state's requirements, you can always just go get a client, get set up, get some private clients and start making money quick. And the difference between Medicaid and private clients is we get money first before we do care. Medicaid, you ain't getting no money until 30 days, 60 days after the care has been served, provided, and then you got to pay the caregiver who's paying the caregiver for those weeks, while there's that you got to come out of your pocket, so definitely in the beginning you want to focus on private pay.
Okay. Thank you. I have a question. The question is, I've been in business for about a year, and I've lost 2 clients. And the reason I've lost the 2 clients is because they become so attached to the caregiver. And so, I had one caregiver return to school, and I had one that moved out of town. And I lost the business because they don't want nobody else. And I was wondering, what would you suggest I do to somehow alleviate, because I let them know at the beginning on my contract that if one can't make it, I'm going to send you a replacement. But they don't want nobody else. They'd rather cancel or not do business with me if they can't keep the one they have.
It's nothing you could do about it. If at that point your hands are tied. If they don't want another caregiver, and the caregiver not going to be there, what can you do? The only thing you can do is provide great service, remind them that you love them for a reason, and those are the caregivers, the type of caregivers we have, and that's the type of caregivers we're going to continuously provide you with. We understand you have a great relationship with her or him, but they're not the only good caregiver, and we have multiple good caregivers because this is what we do. And the only thing you can do is voice that. Maybe if and a good thing is to what I would suggest too is if you can anticipate that and see okay, your caregiver is telling you that they're not going to be around. Hopefully they give you some kind of notice and start kind of send a new caregiver before she's gone and do a meet and greet with the family. And, introduce another caregiver before it's too late, before it's the last day, and then it's okay, she's gone, we don't want nobody else. Maybe you could send somebody in there prior to her leaving to come train, meet the family, and do she can kind of bridge the gap between the new caregiver and the family. Other than that, I mean,
okay.
You know what I mean? Just kind of let them, you know, kind of go in there together, introduce her, and, you know, make it. And I mean, it's really, once people are all right, they're all right. So it's just, you know, the newness of it. They're like, oh man, we don't want to go through this again. But if you can kind of do it while they're still there, you could probably, you know, save that client. And it's definitely worth saving, especially if you had the client for a while. You know.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm in Georgia as well, and we have multiple counties here. So I was wondering, once you submit for the licensure, does that cover all the counties, or do we have to submit to multiple different counties in order to cover patients in those counties under the one license?
No, the license is a state license, so you can operate in the entire state.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not getting. It's not like a county license; it's a state license, so you can operate in the whole state of Georgia.
And my second question is, I just purchased the Done For You, and I was wondering, so does it have to be completely paid off before we move forward and, like, doing paperwork and submissions?
Yeah, we'll talk about that off the call. We can. I don't want to get into your business. You know, let everybody. You know, this is a public call, so I don't want to do all that right here. But that's definitely give me a call or shoot me an email. And we can be able to answer all your questions for you about the program.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I am from Pennsylvania, and I was just recently licensed in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay, great. Congratulations.
And thank you. I wish you was around a couple of months ago, because I'm like, I was looking for some type of mentorship. But I didn't know. I was looking, so I just did it myself. I figured it out, and I did it.
That's it. That's what I like to hear anyway.
Yeah, I figured it out, and I got licensed. So you killed my question when I was about to ask about Medicaid, Medicare, so I'll put that to the side. However, I just purchased your the virtual home care business.
Coaching?
Yes. And my question is you were talking about sending out letters and everything, going into LinkedIn, and, you know, things like that. Do you have a script for that, or?
We have a script.
Like along the lines of what to say, you know, in my letter?
Yeah, we have some documents for your letters. We got some sample stuff for your letters we can send you if you're in the virtual business coaching.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, just you can comment in the virtual business coaching. You know how you can leave comments under different videos, or you can just shoot us a direct email and just let me know you're in the business coaching, and we'll send you some actual templates over. But I got just be clear about what you need. You know, if it's for offices or phone calls and stuff like that, we'll send you. We'll make sure you got what you need.
All right, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
So, are there any more questions?
Hey, Alan.
806.
Yes, Alan.
Yeah.
How you doing? This is Pendleton. How are you?
This is who?
Pendleton.
Hey, Pendleton. How you doing?
All right, great. My question for you about when it comes to putting these signs out, they haven't been really working for me at all.
Okay.
I put the signs out. The signs get confiscated, get fines. They just not working for me in Baltimore County.
Oh, yeah, so, Baltimore County, that's the craziest county in the world for signs. I'm sorry to tell you. Don't put them out in Baltimore County.
I put 100 signs out on Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. Every phone call I got was a complaint, and they was all removed.
It is from one guy. So it's like a vigilante in Baltimore County. I don't want to deviate too far off the conversation of what we're talking about, but Baltimore County, for example, is like, it's some guy out there, and it has nothing to do with the home care sign. It was
I know that guy.
A frenzy of we buy house signs in Baltimore County because of all the house flipping gurus from the last like 5 years who've been flipping houses in Baltimore. So it was like thousands and thousands and thousands of we buy houses signs. You see them in like, you know, Baltimore City. You see them in PA. I mean like Pennsylvania. I mean like Philly. You know, Cleveland, Detroit. You see all, you know, the lower income cities because they're trying to buy up these houses. So that's why the guy in Baltimore County, he has like a hard-on for, excuse my term,
Correct.
for signs. So our signs just, he got me on the internet right now. You could Google his site, and he got my business on there talking about, this guy is doing pollution to our, because of the signs. But ever since then, I just don't even deal with Baltimore County.
I'm getting hit by Adopt the Road. I'm just trying to get around all of that.
Yeah, so like I said, that's just one method of finding clients. The most important strategy, I feel, is, like I said, meaningful relationship development is through, the top referral sources: hospital discharge planners, hospices, skilled nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, Department of Age and case managers, rehab facilities, and rehab hospitals. These are the places where you want to go. First you want to, get a list, compile a list of all these places in your market. So you in Baltimore County, so you want to be in Baltimore County, you want to be in Howard County, you want to go up north. I don't know what county is north of you guys. You want to go west. You want to hit all these counties and get as many of these. You want to get all the places I just mentioned information so you can start calling them, figuring out who you communicate to become a referral source for elder care in that actual facility, organization, agency, whatever. And you want to be making these calls to all these different people on a consistent basis till you start getting some good feedback. When you start getting good feedback, people who really want to, they took the time to listen to you, they got your information, y'all made a connection, you want to follow up with them, do what they ask, and then eventually you'll, through that following up and through maintaining that good relationship by, staying on their mind, calling them, sending them emails, sending them letters, keeping your business in front of them, you'll begin to develop referrals, and they'll actually start sending them to you. And that doesn't take much money, just making phone calls. Shit, if you got a cell phone, it's free. So we think about, the Bandit Signs. The Bandit Signs are a passive strategy anyway. You need to have that. You can have that going, but you need to be aggressive. You need to be on the phone playing offense, trying to, make business happen. And that's where it happens at. It happens on the defense. So don't get down on one strategy because one strategy didn't work, because ultimately it's about building relationships in the senior community, and ain't no sign going to do that. You got to actually get out here and meet these people and sell yourself and sell your business. But don't be intimidated by it. The first call going to be scary. The second call going to be a little less scary. And then it's just going to go down like that. And, when you do it, you're going to feel good about it, and you're going to get a lot of no's. But the yeses is, you can get 100 no's. But if you get one yes, that's a client. That's income. So just be excited that, the yes is coming. You might just got to go to 20 no's, 50 no's, 100 no's. But once you get to that yes, you win it, and that'll give you the momentum to get to that next yes. And you just got to keep, doing the things that work and being creative. Like I'm saying, I'm giving y'all strategies to be, to actually work for us. But then also, I'm giving you some ideas and different things to, be creative and make some stuff that works for you and, that you can come up with. Like entrepreneurship is not cookie cutter. Like business is not cookie cutter. No two companies operate the same. So no two companies niche and win the same way, because if it was, it wouldn't work. So, everybody be at the same level. Like different companies have different strategies that work for them, and they become good at it because they stick to it, and they tested it, they tweaked it, and they made it better and better. And that's what you have to think of. Like that's what you guys have to remember, that it's not one way. There's not one way to do it. There's ways of getting clients that nobody's done yet. That just nobody hasn't thought of. But somebody has to try it and do it, because nobody's doing anything new in the industry, because everybody's following what everybody else doing. And it's not just this business in general, But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But the signs.
All right, thanks. That's cool.
So I'm gonna say the signs. If you do put them, don't put them in Baltimore County, period. But if you do put them out in any of the other counties that I did mention in this area, because we in the same, you in Baltimore, I'm in Anne Arundel, I do some southern counties. I do Howard County, Montgomery County, stuff like that. So, but most of them counties, we got to put them out on Friday and pick them up on Sunday night, you know. So we don't get hit with those fines and all those headaches from the state. I mean, from the city.
Okay,
and
I had a question about the workshops. What are some workshops that's the less cost effective? Because I did some bingo sessions at senior apartments, and we had prizes, crock pots, coffee makers, and we didn't get any clients. They had fun, and they want us to come back, and we had a couple, but we didn't get any clients. So what's the most cost-effective thing that you could do as far as a workshop? And you said go to nursing homes and rehabs and adult daycares, and what else can we do?
What type of events you can do that's cost-effective? I mean, for one, don't spend a whole bunch of money. It don't cost no money to go in there and teach people something. Like to say, like for instance, the technology workshops where you go teach seniors how to get on social media. You go in there, you set up their accounts. You know, you help them set up their Facebook accounts. You help them set up their Skype accounts. You just bring in a couple computers, a couple laptops, and you know, you show them how to use the software. You know, stuff like that, little simple stuff, but it's really helpful to them. That's one thing. Bingo, I don't know. You know, you could do a bingo. You could do a bingo night. You could do a dance. You know, I mean, you might have to get a DJ and all that stuff, but you just got to be creative. You do a comedy. You get like a local comedian who don't got really know, he probably really ain't even funny, but he'll probably do a free show if you set it up at a, you know, thing at a senior facility, and you know, make sure his jokes or his act is age appropriate. You know, and you sponsor it. They know it's you that done it. That, you know, put it together. Your marketing is there. Your brand is there, but you're not like pushing your product on nobody. You're not pushing your service, but they know it's you. When you say that your one workshop wasn't cost effective, the fact that people were excited about you in the senior community, that's winning. You can't expect, I'm not saying that these workshops are you do one workshop, you're going to get 5 clients. You're going to do one workshop, you ain't going to get no clients. But if you do 10 workshops over the course of 10 months, you're going to really build a reputation and, you know, a following of people who enjoy you, who appreciate you, and therefore your name and your company brand is being built on something that really, you know, people can appreciate. It's just not you selling something all the time. The number one marketing strategy I feel like is giving. You give, ask. You just don't give and then ask. You don't do a workshop and then ask for their business. You do something to give, you know, to make them appreciate you. You got to give, and then you can ask for something. You can't just expect one event and then you think it's just not going to work like that. It's like you can't make one phone call to one facility and you think you're going to get you're going to become a referral source, or you're going to start getting referrals from that particular person. It just don't, that particular location. It just don't work like that. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Business is a numbers game. The more workshops, events you do, the more you're going to get. It's going to become profitable for you. But in the beginning, just start off with stuff that's inexpensive or free. You know, you can print out some manuals, you know, hand them out while you're there. Go do like so like it's the summertime, it's a lot of heat. So you could put together 25, you know, safety tips for seniors in the heat. And you can, seniors in the summer. And then you could print out 10, 15, 20 of these pamphlets, pass them out, do your presentation, and then get them back. Or you just do one, you know, have people sit in front of you, you do your presentation, and you leave. And you don't ask for anything. You leave your marketing, you leave your brochures, you leave your cards, and you give them this free, helpful information that they can use to, you know, better, you know, protect themselves in the summertime. Their family caregivers can better, you know, protect their loved ones in the summertime. And then that's the mark you leave. You're not going to necessarily get anything from there. But I'm not saying you can't, but you can't expect to do it one time and get any kind of result.
Okay, and what about the day spa? You said a day spa to come in to the senior apartments and do the
day spa sessions?
Yeah, I mean, if you have the access to people who can actually do that stuff, like licensed nail technicians or masseuse or so what they call it, the people who do hair beauticians. I guess beautician cover all of it, or at least the hair and nails. I guess I don't know, but if you can, work that out with a couple people who are willing to do it for you for free or for a really low rate, or them to get the opportunity to push their brand. So like if the guy that has an agency locally, he has a connection with an actual salon who wants to brand herself, so she's willing to go in alongside of his company and do a couple day spas for seniors.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's just
okay.
about networking and trying to find.
You may put in a intake folder.
Huh?
What are some of the things that I can put in the intake folder? I know maybe like the brochure or business card, but what are some of the other things that may go in?
You can put all the services that you offer, like a service sheet, all the services that your company is going to offer. You can put your a sample contract in there, your a sheet of like a cost, like a price sheet, or what your prices are, stuff like that. Proof of your insurance, your license information if you license, if you especially if you have to have a license in your state, you want to make sure you can have a copy of that, stuff like that. Just all the information that you feel like you'll give to a client to legitimize yourself. Some references, obviously, you definitely want to have some references in there.
Okay.
On their letterhead, not just some references you didn't typed up. You want to get references on their professional letterhead. So we have a dentist that we have been taking care of her mom, and she's like one of the top dentists in our city. And her letterhead just rings bells, because like once they see her name, it's like, okay, it's not just because she's a dentist. She's been a dentist for multiple years, like decades. She has a big practice, and she's done things in the community, and she does a lot of dental work for seniors. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
just have like references. No, but I'm just saying, like, those are some of the things you need.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Thank you.
You were saying just starting out, you don't have references. Was you gonna say that?
Right. Don't have the references yet.
I mean, you got family.
Yeah.
You got friends. You know what I mean? Okay, we got to be creative.
Okay, gotcha.
We ain't sticking about. We ain't breaking the laws, but we'll break some rules. We'll shake it up a little bit. I'm not suggesting to break the law, but if you got to break a couple of rules, just, get it done.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's 8:20. We didn't went kind of long. But if you guys have, I'll take 2 or 3 more questions, if that's out there.
Really quick, Alvin, this is Steve from Detroit. I had a question about your direct mail. With like these service providers like ListSource, how can they kind of compile a list for you?
I can barely hear you, but what it sounds like you said is that you're thinking about doing direct mail, and how do you go to a list provider to create the actual criteria?
Correct, like a ListSource. Like what type of list are you building?
So what you would do is, high net worth families over 65 is where I would start. The females, if they can, narrow down to gender, but they usually when you get a list, they pulling it based on the house. They're not going on the age; they're looking at the family. So high net worth, the criteria is high net worth families with over 65, or the people that's living there are over 55, 50 to 65. But we like 50.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but you don't have to make it too complex. You don't have to make it too complicated. But let me tell you this. That's the wrong way to go. I said that, but then I'm going to double back and say that's not even the right way to think about doing direct mail when it comes to this business, because it's too, that strategy is too pricey for the amount of the numbers you're going to have to do to get an actual response. So you're going to have to get basically direct mail is 3 to 5% over response rate, and that's just response. Just people gonna call you. So if you're sending out 1,000, you can only expect what's 5-10 amount calls, and I don't even think you're gonna get that with a list from list source. So what I would say is focus on doing direct mail.
Kind of what you mentioned earlier on the call.
Not direct mail. I mean to say direct mail, but I'm saying EDDM. It's another form of direct mail. It's called every door direct mail. Whereas though you could work it out through the post office, go to the post office, get set up on their EDDM services, but then also take the bulk mail class. There's a bulk mail class that you can take through the post office where you'll get an insignia code. It's called an insignia code. That little square code that you see on postcards when they come, and they got the company. It's not a stamp, but it's a company's name right there with a little number on it. That's the insignia code that you can get from the post office. And then you can start doing bulk mail. And bulk mail, doing EDDM is a lot more inexpensive, because now where you're going to be paying, regular postcard rates through a list source or something like that, sending out regular postcards, it's going to go down to like 2 cents, 3, 4, 5 cents a piece based on how many you send. It's just a lot more cost effective, and you can still use those, the post office can still pull those criteria for you based on mail routes. So they use the mail routes instead of actual lists, like actual doors. They use mail routes. So you can pick like the top 3 or 4 high net worth mail routes in your marketplace with the most seniors on it. They can pull that list for you. And then you just want to make sure, they're going to tell you, but you want to make sure you're not make sure it's no businesses. They can't really stop it, but you want to go to ones that have the least amount of businesses on the route, so your cars aren't going to like the mall and going to every address, in the shopping center or something like that. So yeah, that's what you want to, if you're going to look at direct mail as a strategy, start with EDDM bulk mail. EDDM meaning every door direct mail bulk mail, but that's not a great strategy. If your budget is tight, I wouldn't even. It's just a bad way to spend your early marketing dollars.
Thank you. All right.
I would focus more on Facebook ads and building up your website through social, through SEO and stuff like that, search engine optimization. So, are there any more questions before we sign off? I guess that's that. I appreciate you guys tonight for being patient with me. I had to break up a fight in the back. My kids was going at it, so you can feel it now. And I appreciate you guys every night, every Friday that y'all guys come on, take your time out to hang out with me, talk about the business. And I'll talk to you guys next week. If you have any questions throughout the week, feel free to give us a call. We'll try to get to your call. And one thing I'm going to do is say about the calls, if you can't reach us, shoot us a text, shoot us an email, shoot us a direct message on the Facebook page, and we'll be able to get to you one way or another eventually. So with that being said, everybody have a good night, safe weekend, and we'll talk soon. Thanks a lot.
You do the same. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.